An under-the-radar film noir from the 1940s has what it easily one of the most unforgettable villains in the history of the genre. Too Late for Tears was a box office bomb upon its theatrical release in 1949, but has since experienced somewhat of a resurgence. In fact, it now boasts a great reputation among fans of the film noir genre. Directed by Byron Haskins, Too Late for Tears is based around a relatively simple concept. A married couple mistakenly came into possession of a stolen sum of $60,000, which was then considered a small fortune by most. In addition to creating a conflict in the couple's marriage, their new dilemma attracted the attention of the intended recipient of the cash, a career criminal and blackmailer, Danny Fuller. The incident that develops in Too Late for Tears delivered a surprisingly menacing and compelling villain, and one that outshines those from movies typically viewed as the best film noir movies of all time. And interestingly, that threat came in an entirely unexpected form. Too Late for Tears features one of the film noir genre's best villains. Early on in Too Late for Tears, it'd be easy to assume that Danny Fuller, the man after the money, is the antagonist of the film. After all, he was presented as a criminal willing to do whatever it took to get what he wanted, not to mention the fact that he was played by Dan Duryea, an actor who was frequently enlisted to play villains in film noir movies and westerns in the 1940s and 1950s. That expectation, which is soon proven wrong, is one of the things that made Too Late for Tears such an interesting story. As bad as he was, it gradually became clear that he was nowhere close to as dangerous or as ruthless as the wife in the story, Lizabeth Scott's Jane Palmer. From the start, it was no secret that Jane coveted the money and didn't want to turn it over to the police. But as the story unfolded, Jane's lack of a conscience grew increasingly apparent, with the character teaming up with Danny Fuller, plotting the murder of her husband, double-crossing her new partner in crime, and eventually scheming to kill her husband's sister. Of course, making Jane so evil came with a risk for the film, as her transformation from a seemingly ordinary housewife to a cold-blooded murderer could come across as hasty and unrealistic. But Too Late for Tears cleverly avoided this mistake by following up an early reference to her first husband's death by suggesting that she either killed him herself or drove him to suicide. In other words, she always had a dark side, the events of the film just brought it out. This aspect of her character, combined with her ambitious personality and boredom with suburban life, made every evil deed she committed, or tried to commit, possible in Too Late for Tears. Too Late for Tears has multiple classic film noir moments. The bleak characterization of Jane Palmer and Lizabeth Scott's performance handed Too Late for Tears some standout moments and lines that drew upon the greatest facets of the film noir genre. One such example is the scene where Danny Fuller, startled by the depths Jane is willing to reach when she explained her plan to murder Kathy, made the remark, "You are a tiger. You got me in so deep, I can't get out." It's a remarkable moment, as it showed the bad guy of the story realizing that the woman he once sought to exploit was on another level of evil compared to him. Their evolving dynamic became crucial to the intrigue in Too Late for Tears, with a later scene demonstrating that Danny, the hardened criminal, was not only afraid of her, but had his own moral compass tested by his relationship with her. This was on display when a drunk and depressed Danny returned from buying the poison to use on Kathy, explaining. Too Late for Tears proves that Lizabeth Scott is a film noir legend. Lizabeth Scott's shockingly wicked portrayal is further evidence of the actress's knack for film noir. It's no coincidence that most of the actress's best movies belong to that genre: The Strange Love of Martha Ivius, Dead Reckoning, Pitfall, and, of course, Too Late for Tears, sharing the screen alongside fellow film noir icons like Humphrey Bogart, Barbara Stanwyck, Dick Powell, and Burt Lancaster. Despite having a limited filmography, Lizabeth Scott left an undeniable mark on the film noir genre. With her roles in The Strange Love of Martha Ivius and Too Late for Tears, Scott solidified her place as one of Hollywood's best when it came to playing femme fatale. With her baritone, husky voice, she was adept at playing cool-headed and mysterious women, not unlike the style of Lauren Bacall.